Bomb in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Wolf Roll!
Let's go.
Let's go. Y'all know what this is. Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes, and welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my brothers, man. You guys know who they are. That's Mr. Glass half full of nets. Spee if you know.
Hey, let's go.
You're such a clown. What is that?
Let's go, man.
And I'm here with my brother El Jefe, a.k.a. White Jersey, a.k.a. Blue Jersey, a.k.a. It's so hard to say goodbye to Juan Soto.
Well done. I was hoping that's where you'd go.
I got you. I knew it. Come on. Great minds, brother. And shout out to you. Yes, you, the revivalists in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And if you're on X, please hit that like and retweet button and that notification bell. We do appreciate all the support, guys. We have some great guests in the building. Of course, tonight we got some Talkin Giants and we got the revivalists of the month, Scooby. But hold on. Before we get to that, let's go around the room, guys. How was your weekend? Because I didn't watch the Giants. It went completely well for me. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm gonna start with, of course, I'm gonna start with El Jefe on this one, man. How was your weekend, brother?
Good weekend. All weekends are good, but I just wanted to point out something funny. I just noticed in our intros, Spiro keeps getting stuck with Daniel Jones gear on. The last one was the blue Jones jersey that you won at the bar, and then in this one you're wearing the no DJ slander shirt for the chaos.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to hide from it. I'm not hiding from it. It was a dark time in our life.
Yep. Sweet. You
lost your mic. Lost your mic.
You were so excited it hit mute.
Listen, I said it was a dark time, but it was actually the best of times and the worst of times. And I will always remember the DJ slander times. So
listen, we own it. Okay, we own it. Yes. We laugh at it, so you can
come
laugh
at
it too. Yeah,
exactly, brother. Exactly. You get what I'm saying? So listen, man. Of course, you gotta go with the big dog. Big dog, how was your week?
Yeah, I mean, we had our little.
Wait, did we go to Hef, or he just turned it over to you?
No, that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to talk about the big dog. That's all.
Say no more, big dog. Yeah, big dog.
Yeah. Who's the big dog here? Who's am I the
you, man? We call you the big dog.
That's
You're like 7'2" here in real life.
Hey, listen. Christmas extravaganza in the locals over here. We did, the whole shebang on Friday, Saturday, and then went to the game on Sunday. And as usual, everything was great except for the actual game. The weather was great.
You knew what you were getting into. You knew.
Yeah, right. And listen, we had good seats, so I couldn't complain. And you know what? At the end of the day, it was close, and we lost by a field goal, and we still are on track for that top 2 pick. So your boy was.
I do have a question for you. Weather was pretty good for a December game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then did you stay the whole time at the game?
I did stay the whole time. I don't want to tell you guys why, but I had a good situation where I was not cold and I was not rushed to get out of there.
You know
let's
why?
just say that.
Tell us, right? The crown.
Give him the crown. Give him the crown right now. What were you in a fucking heated luxury box? Tell me the truth.
Not going to tell you right now.
Tell me the truth. You're on spot.
Tell us now. You might as well.
Okay,
you're on live TV.
I was in a box and I was watching the Ranger game and Red Zone.
It's rich motherfucker.
It's rich. Listen,
I tell you, they rode me to the box on a Clydesdale. I didn't even ask them to do that.
Rich
listen, if we're being honest, it's the only way I was going to attend the game. I was not attending a game otherwise. So, yeah. Listen, I'm not spending another cent on this team. This team does not deserve my pennies. Okay. Anywho, I stayed the whole game. I will say this: It's the quietest I've ever bougie. Is that how you spell it? That's interesting.
I've seen it spelled 12 different ways, and I'm still not sure.
I thought it was like bourgeois.
We'll take that one. We knew what he meant. We'll take it.
Yes. Fuck you, Gregory Mag. Quietest I've ever heard. Giants / MetLife Stadium ever. The deadest I've ever seen it. Just you could hear a pin drop all game long.
Can you hear, the stands from the luxury box in your ivory tower?
I had to really put my ear to the glass, like to make sure, like it was.
Last question.
No, it was
I was at a bar down in Brick, Beacon 70, phenomenal sports bar, really good. But down there, and it was a ton of Giants fans at this bar, and we were obviously not rooting for the win at this point, and I was with a couple of Giants fans, and they were like freaking out that the Giants are going to win this game. And like, there's still time to fuck this up. Like, just give them a minute. Trust me, just give them a minute.
Plenty of time.
When that field goal got blocked, was that Giants fans cheering or the Saints?
It was everybody. Everybody was
okay. So that was
on it. Yes, it was. It was all the Giants fans realizing that's what we needed, and it was the Saints fans being extra loud. Because there was it was probably like 40%. Or 30%, Saints fans. But all the Giants fans that were there, they were still cheering for that block kick as well. So it was, and honestly, like Sarge said, the only other time they cheered was when DeVito came in for that one snap. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw.
Why did he come in for one snap?
I honestly couldn't even tell you why.
At this point, put him in, right?
Yeah.
If you want to keep the morale.
Again, this is a whole other thing. Why? What if he started DeVito first and he's healthy enough now? Why are you not? Anyway, we'll get into it.
It's all about the tank. That tanking. You seen how vanilla that offense was? Let's be honest. That offense was it was like
guys are still open too, and we're still missing
preseason play calling out there. So let's be honest. This is a tank. Come on, let's be honest.
This is a tank,
guys. Hold on. Before we keep going, we will keep going for you guys, but we got a special guest in the building, guys. If you don't know this, we do something called the Revivalists of the Month, where we get to share the platform with our people, you, the people, our family, and we pick a revivalist every month, man. Build a bar, Hartnett, Giants sing, the list goes on that made it. Guys, seize the moment, of course. But guys, we have a very special guest, man. Took this person a little bit to get here, but they're here tonight. We got Scooby, the Revivalist of the Month in the building. Round of applause! Round of applause! Round of applause!
Scooby! Look at that.
Oh my God.
I love that.
She got magic, dude. That was crazy.
She is the best.
Look at this.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh, man, I'm kind of jealous.
What is this sorcery?
What is this?
The blood of Jesus.
Hey, the blood of Jesus is always on my hand, right?
Let's go.
I knew she was special. Look at that.
Absolutely. Yes. Man, shout out to you. Thank you so much for being on here. The Revivalists of the Month, for all the support. We wanted to say thank you. We'll bring you on the platform. But first, man, tell the people how you're doing. Obviously, they see the background. So, how you doing out there, sis?
I mean, I've been in here since November 26th. I missed Thanksgiving. So I didn't even get a taste of turkey, stuffing, yams, greens. I didn't get nothing.
Beans, potatoes, tomatoes.
But a dried hospital cheeseburger.
Listen, we'll get you right. We'll set you up.
But the good news is I will be out of here Thursday. I did officially ring my bell a couple weeks ago.
Let's go.
So I am officially cancer-free. Yes, I just the only issues right now is I've been dealing with some kidney issues, but things are starting to look well. Levels are starting to get back to normal, and I should be fully back on my feet within the next couple of weeks. So,
thank God,
that is
man.
So good to hear.
Let's go. That is great news right there, Scoob, man. Thank God you get to ring that bell. That's a blessing within itself, Scoob. So thank God, man. Anybody got anything for Scoob, man?
No, listen. Well, I want to say first of all, that's gonna make the next Thanksgiving dinner that much sweeter when you get home and you're gonna get that good turkey and that good stuffing.
Yeah.
Listen, we can't wait till you get out of there, and we can't wait to see all the videos and your inspiration to all of us and all the cool things you do and all the fighting you're doing.
I do.
in there.
As much as people ask, like, through all the chemo that I went through, I wasn't even gonna let it stop me from going to a game. I might have been at a game, but I was hurting, but I was still there, and I wanted to cheer my team on. That's just because I love Giants football, and that's just me. That Giants football is just my close home. Regardless if we're 0-17, 10-7, I love my team.
Scoob, you're such a bright spot in our community, and I noticed that you know, one day you're posting a video of getting treatment, and then you're like on a plane to go to Germany, and I'm like, how is she doing this? Like, absolute trooper. We love you. You know that. We got your back, and we're so happy for you that you're cancer free. If you see the banner across the bottom, all super chats tonight going right to Scoob. Let's go get her like a proper Thanksgiving meal. Let's get the super chats going. And we love you, Scoobs.
Love you guys.
And Scoob, before you get out of here, I gotta ask this because, of course, this is a hot topic all around X-Land. Brian Daboll, Joe Shane, are you parting ways or you want to keep them? What's your thoughts?
I want them to try to get their guy. But I don't want Daboll to call the plays next year. I would like an offensive coordinator.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. I like that, School, man. It's not going to keep you so long because obviously you got some resting to do. You got 2 more days. You need to get out of here. We owe you a couple of drinks. We owe you some Thanksgiving meals here. So, guys, you heard Half Man. Every super chat actually will go to our sister Scooby tonight, man. Any little bit of help, guys. Any little bit of help. We're going to send it her way, and we thank you guys for the support, of course, man. This is what Giants community do. We stick together. When one's down, we're all down. So let's try to do our best here to make sure Scoob is taken care of.
I appreciate you guys having me on here. I respect everything you guys do, the humor, the brotherly love that you guys have for one another. Keep doing y'all thing. You're all going to be at the top, and much love to y'all.
Oh, man, God bless you. Thank you so much, Scoob. We'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow.
Salute,
love
my
you, Scoob.
Hey, salute.
We love you, Scoob.
We'll see you soon, Scoob.
Salute.
Oh, man. Love Scoob, man. I know we didn't want to keep her too long, and man, she's doing well. Thank God, cancer free, man. So shout out to you, Scoob, man.
And Chris Peace getting it started.
Let's go.
Thank you so much. And while the first super chat did come through before we opened it up for Scoob, they're coming through now. But shout out Peter Rendazzo. Was Chef flying the plane? No, but he did finance it, from what I understand. He wanted to fly the plane. He said his alcohol level was way too high. They wouldn't let him fly the plane. But then Peter doubled down, came back. My best to Scooby. Thank you guys so much. Like, this is going right to Scoob's every dollar.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you guys. If you can donate, it's all going to her. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. And guys, let me say this, man. Speaking of that plane going across the banner, don't forget we got Talking Giants here tonight, guys. So tell a friend to tell a friend, get everybody in here. But speaking of that plane flying across, Speed, you was there, man. How was the crowd reacting, man, after seeing a plane fly over saying get this dumpster fire together here, Mr. Mayor?
It was the talk of the tailgate. I'll tell you that much. Everybody was just like, everybody was getting their phones out and like taking pictures, and honestly, the level of agreement is just kind of says it all, right? Like, this thing is an absolute dumpster fire. We have to go through it if we want to get our quarterback, but it doesn't make it any better. And this is what we talked about all year long, is like, how are they going to get through this? Because it has to happen. Should have happened last year, but you know, like the Giants do, they never do anything on time.
Speed, that's the tricky thing about this is what we wanted to happen.
I know.
But now it becomes, well, do you keep the guys that let us get to this point? And that's like the biggest thing. Is John Mara really so afraid to clean house again? Because it really is a huge change. It's the whole staff. It's a change of culture. You're changing everything about the identity of your team. But when you're picking first overall or second, changing the identity is probably a good thing, because you are among the worst teams in the league. And that's exactly where the Giants are. So it's a phenomenal question. Going to be fascinating to see how it plays out. And we'll get everyone's opinions.
You know what's crazy? Yes, we understand that we wanted to kind of get a quarterback, and this is what it takes to kind of get one, or to get the first number 1 overall pick. But the argument is after seeing this team, like the Malik Neighbors speaking out, like, I didn't fly the plane, or the lack of discipline from this team. You know what I mean? Like, those are all coaching. Like that's coaching. The fight not too long ago, they didn't have any. You know what I mean? So I mean, they've been looking good, for a little bit since, but still, man, it's just like, man, it's the little things that make you say, I don't know if this is the right coaching. Or looking at Evan Neal still play horrible. I don't know if they can pick the right guy. Like all of this is in question of why people are now, because I wanted these guys to stay, but I had to really do some soul searching here, gentlemen. I'm leaning on, I don't know if they're the right people to run this organization. I get there's a tank going on here. I get it. But after all the stuff I just said, the improper way of drafting by Joe Shane, the horrible coaching that we've seen this year, and the players speaking out for Brian Daboll, I just go, man, I don't know if they're the right people in here to kind of get this together. They should be on a hot seat, in my opinion. I don't know. We'll see.
I think these. By the way, our boy Jay asked if we got a bobblehead. Frankie Gifford, baby. I got about 16 of these right now because they're just couldn't give away enough boxes to everybody. But real quick, hold on before I get to my point. Shout out Sarge on the top rope. Shout out to
Sarge. Hey, Sarge, the revivalist of the month before former.
Yes.
Maybe early on, Sarge. Can you let us know officially? Let us know, Sarge.
We gotta probably have this on.
Obviously, he's an OG. He's a Day Uno. He's among the original.
Well, all right, we gotta rectify this. He hasn't been revivalist of the month.
Never? Nah, Sarge, we gotta make this happen for you, brother.
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna get that call.
You're early clubhouse leader.
Spear, do you have a couple bobbleheads we can maybe give out tonight?
Yes, probably. Probably.
Who
wants? Yes. I got 2 bobbleheads to give away. So
how about this?
Everybody wants one.
Everyone wants one.
How about this? $5 super chat for Scoobs minimum, and we'll send you one. How about that?
Boom. Next one. Next one gets it.
I like that one. Next one
for Scoobs.
Listen to me.
Thank you, Sarge.
What was it? Fucking lost track of what I was gonna say.
The bobblehead really. Do we keep Dable and Shane?
Yes. Oh, I honestly, I as stupid as this is to say, I really feel like this game on Sunday is going to tell you everything you need to know about how these players want to play for Brian Daboll or not. Because it could get ridiculously ugly. It can get like 40-0, 50-0.
They dropped the L.
Could get so ugly.
It's ugly. It's gonna be ugly.
I might have to just use that from now on. I might just say
it's so ugly. It's
ugly. Yeah, real ugly with an L. It's going to be an ugly L. But if they hold it together a little bit, and it's like maybe a 2-score game, you see fight. The fight against the Saints doesn't matter. They're a shitty team. Fight against Baltimore, that holds a little bit more weight, and we'll see how much he's got the pulse of this team still. Dable.
I mean,
let me say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Hef. I don't want to take your thunder here, but let me say this. We've been saying for the past few weeks, right, Hef? Right, Speed?
Mm-hmm.
Is that next week we're going to see how they rally. Next week we're going to see how they rally. We've seen the past few weeks now, and it just hasn't been a fruition where we can go, man, we sure we want to keep Brian Daboll? It just hasn't been.
It's fair.
This game isn't going to make a difference to me.
Yes, no, but it's a harder opponent. Walked, yeah,
they are. They are. They're gonna get dog walk. I think they're gonna lose by 14 points, and they'll make the spread.
Yeah.
They'll make the spread. But here's the thing. I just we've seen the last couple of weeks. We've seen Malik Neighbors talk out each and every time and every loss at this point. What else is going to change? They're going to lose. The players are going to get frustrated again, and they're going to speak out again. And we're going to go, man, it's time to get rid of everybody. At this point, get rid of everyone. But I'll tell you this, though. If they do stay, they definitely brokered a deal with John Mara because they signed Daniel Jones. Hands down. That's all I need to know. If they, I really do think that happened. I think I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they brokered a deal with them to say, hey, if we sign Daniel Jones and it doesn't work out, guess what? We're gonna tank, man, and we're gonna get our guy. But we need to keep our jobs here for another year with our guy. And John Mara was like, deal. And guess what?
They're
It
going to
didn't
get a
work out.
chance.
It didn't work out. I really think they're going to stay. That's just my conspiracy theory. Eli, we'll talk about that another time.
I'm with you
if
on
it
that
happens,
too.
that's what I think is happening here. I really don't think they're going to lose their job. But from a fan's perspective, I would thinking right here, I don't see how they keep it because we've seen this story play out before. I just don't see how they keep it. But go ahead, Hef. I'm sorry, brother.
No, you're good, man. It's your show. I'm just along for the ride here. I think I've said for a long time that I'm out on Shane, and I don't know if Dable will get the chance to, build up his own quarterback. But they did decide to pay Daniel. So, like you said, if they stay, I think you're absolutely right. It's because Mara is loyal. We know that, if nothing else, loyal to a fault. And he might give them a chance to get their guy because he maybe strong-handed Daniel Jones to get that deal across the line, whatever it is. But I do think if for anyone that's on board with like, yes, let them get their guy, that is completely based on hope. You are just hoping that Shane is much closer to the most recent draft than the first 2 years. And it's like, well, yeah, he was a first-time GM. Give him some time. It's like, so we just have to sit around and suffer while this guy figures out how to be a GM? And I mean, is there anyone better out there is a separate question. My gut would say yes, there would have to be.
Well, yeah, I mean,
right? Like
this currently, yes.
Yeah. And I really do think Dable can coach. I think he has been just absolutely handcuffed with like mediocre at best quarterback play. You see him blowing a gasket on the sideline every single week. You see him like he's going to have a heart attack. I said that at the bar on Sunday. I'm like, he's going to have a heart attack watching these quarterbacks play, man, because I was watching some Malik Neighbors routes. This dude, even getting 11 targets, he was open all the time.
Way more than that. Yep.
Dude, he is open. You can't guard him one-on-one, and he's good at finding like the spots in the zone defense too. So Neighbors has not even scratched the surface of what he could do, and it's because of the quarterback play. I think there are plenty of big explosive plays out there to be made, but we didn't get a good enough line put together. We're getting crushed by injuries, and without a quarterback, you can't do anything. So it's like the chicken or the egg.
I'll say I feel like the line is heading in the right direction. It hasn't been a detriment like it has in the past years, right? Like even with all the injuries, I feel like they're still kind of holding it together. It's not like every play the guy's getting sacked. I feel like these quarterbacks have time. They're just not pulling the trigger. They're making bad decisions. But that's neither here nor there. Can I get real quick? Can I pivot, guys, before our
please. I was just about to. Let's
get on the show.
Man.
I have to gloat for a second. I have to
gloat. Juan.
I'm going to step out.
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto. Juan Soto.
To say goodbye to Juan Soto.
Shit. Juan Soto is a New York Met. And we went toe-to-toe with the Yankees, and we came through. We took your guy. And it feels good. And that's the last I'll say about I feel bad for my Yankee fans that are sad today.
Do you though? Do you?
Not really.
Yeah, right.
Because all I hear now.
Hold on 1 second, Spee. I'm sorry. I just want to.
This is the world's
all the Yankee fans.
Yes. We buried you. We took your lunch and we stuffed you in the locker. Stevie Cohen.
All right.
This is why he came to Queens. This was his moment, and he was not letting any dollar sign surpass what he wanted. He wanted Juan Soto, and he was making sure he would have gone to 800. He actually did. It could be an $800 million contract. $800 million. Just compute that in your head. $800 million for a guy that's, arguably not the best top three guy in the sport. That's how much he wanted him, and he doesn't. He just pisses. Like I said, fun coupons for everybody.
Fun coupons.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't care. But what it does for the Mets is it plants the flag. It says we're here now. We are going to contend. You got to look out for us, everybody. Dodgers. This is not going to be just your show anymore. Phillies. Yankees, we're here. We're going to act like a big market team for the first time in a long time. Hey, it's not delusional. It's just facts. We have the guy. We have the guy. We just came off a world's long postseason run. We're here, E. We're here. And I'll tell you this. I know this the Yankee Met rivalry will never have like it's been kind of dormant for a while. It's gonna get ramped back up this year, dude. It's gonna get ramped back up because we're here in the bickering already. It was awesome. It was awesome times.
You know what this deal made me realize is that we're gonna see $1 billion contract in our lifetime. What are we 5 or 10 years away from that?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, maybe, but I bet you they do something because they hate that Steve Cohen's doing this. They're gonna put a cap. They're gonna put a cap on it this year. Watch. They're gonna be like, you know what? Steve Cohen did this. We're done. We're done. And we're capping it because the Mets can't have fun things.
Like there are teams that have less than Juan Soto's contract on their whole payroll. I thought I heard somebody say.
Yeah.
Like
it's
facts. Eli just like that's fucking insane.
Can I play this out for what happened? He turned down $440 million from the Nationals. Then he got a $325 million raise from that.
Well played, sir. Well played.
You could not have played it better. It's the ultimate raise.
Eli, is Spiro daydreaming that the Mets are just gonna win a World Series?
You know what, man? All joking aside, I really do think they're on a cusp of doing something for New York. I really do think so. I think it's going to happen. I just don't know when. And it's soon, Speed. I'm not trying to say
this is a start. This is a start.
I'm not saying it's 5 years from now. I think in like a 1 to 2 year time frame. It could be this. It could be next year. It really can be. But I really do. I really do think, man. I'm scared of. I won't say I'm scared of the Mets, but those guys are gonna make noise in New York, man. And I think the Yankees, man. I hate to say this, after me and you are Yankee fans, right? I just think, man, that they're on a decline, unfortunately, brother. I don't think they make it back to the World Series. I really don't think so.
Let me say this. I'm going to fill you guys in because I'm not sure you guys saw it, but they signed a pretty solid pitcher tonight.
Yeah, tell me about this pitcher.
I don't know anything about. I mean, so there's red flags in that he's 31 and he's been injured a lot. But
what could go wrong? This is Darren Waller all over it.
No. But when he's pitching, I mean, listen, you guys paid him a lot of money, but if you think about it, you had $700 million earmarked for Soto. So like you got to spend that money elsewhere, right? Like if you're going to pivot, you got to start throwing money around.
Now you got to overpay some mediocre guys and get a roster.
That's exactly what they're doing. No, Speed, that doesn't make me happy.
No. What I'm trying to get to here, those are the red flags. But he is not mediocre. He is an ace. Number two,
when healthy. This feels like
when healthy, he is an ace. So it's a swing that they have to take, and they made that swing, and the Yankees are going to have to do more. They have to do a lot more. The Mets got to do more, but it feels good to finally get one as a Met fan. We've been through years and years of shit.
I'm only happy for you, Speed. For you.
Agree.
That's it. Let me say this, Speed. Can I get some up-tempo music here, Hefe, if you don't mind, brother?
Fire the DJ.
Man. Fire the DJ. Fire? What? No. I just had to repeat that. No. Listen, guys. Without further ado, we got two of the best in the business. We got two GOATs right here in the making. You want to say legendary? Can't spell legendary without these guys here. Our brother, your brother, Justin Pennick, Bobby Skinner, Talkin Giants. Round of applause! Round of applause! Round of applause! Round of applause, brothers!
What's going on, fellas?
Thank you so much for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourselves?
Doing wonderful.
Great to see you, man. Listen, I was just thinking, no lie. I was like, when it was like, man, we got to get Bobby and Justin on. You know what I was thinking? I was like, man, I love seeing Bobby, man. He's such a huggable guy. Like, I see Bobby, you got to hug him, man. He's such a huggable guy. You got to come to New York. We got to see you.
You're muted. Great. Good start.
I've been saying, like, what's going on, guys? How we doing? It's all been into the abyss.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right, brother.
I think I've given everyone here a hug except for Justin. I don't know if me and Justin have ever hugged.
No, never.
Really?
Never.
I've given Justin way more hugs than Bobby.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. Yes.
In multiple cities, by the way.
Yeah, I find Justin extremely huggable, and I randomly run into him. Actually, it hasn't happened in a very long time.
I was
No, it
gonna say,
hasn't
wasn't
happened.
there a run of like you guys were running into each other like every weekend?
A lot.
Was it two different bars in Red Bank? It was one in Red Bank. Were they both?
In my younger days, when I would go out.
You're still in
you're
those
young.
days,
Oh
right?
shit! Really, Justin? Really, Justin? Yeah.
Talking to three guys with gray in their beards. He's like, "What I was
Listen, let me say this too, because I just want to say Justin is a huggable guy as well. I mean, you see Justin, he's a great dude. Like he comes in and gives you the biggest high five. Actually, I don't even think he gives us fives. He just gives us hugs.
No, I don't really. Hey, how are you?
He gives us hugs, man. So shout out to you, Justin, man. Yes, you're a huggable guy too. I just want you to make that clear. But guys, listen, man. Thank you for coming to the show, man. We got so much to talk about. We need your expertise, to be honest with you. Guys, get in the chat. Tonight's show is for the Revivalist of the Month. Scooby is here. Every cent that is coming in from the super chat will be going to Scooby to help her cause. Keep fighting, keep fighting, Scoob. This is what we do here. So thank you guys for coming on and doing this. But I want to get y'all thoughts, man. The Giants are in critical condition on their deathbed right now. So I'm going to ask Bobby and Justin here, and I'm going to start with Bobby first, man. Hot topic. Do we keep Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, brother, in your opinion?
Do I think they will, or do I what do I want?
Give me both there, because I want to get your thoughts if they will, and give me your thoughts if you will want them to go or stay.
I think they last. I think somehow they last, but I keep getting over the fact of how angry people are going to be if they lose 12 straight games, that if John Mara will decide to pull the plug, and we've seen him change his mind. But like right now, they're quote unquote safe, even though that doesn't mean shit until the season's over. Mm-hmm. What do I want? I want Joe Shane fired, and with that, Brian Daboll has to go. You know, I just finished my outline for my video. I'm going to do like my official, like, this is why I think Joe Shane and Brian Daboll will be fired, and it's just, I want to be patient. You know, I'm not like looking to, you know, throw away every rookie who doesn't have a great rookie year and move on. But I think the negatives outweigh the positives, and I think keeping them can lead to an offseason that's going to have bad process. You know, maybe they get good results out of the bad process. That does happen in the NFL. It's happened many times. Some good rosters have been built with, you know, not great quote unquote process. But I don't want a GM whose seat is so on fire that he just isn't allowed to draft any other position but one when it comes to the draft. Like, he's not allowed to not draft a quarterback. He can be offered 3 first-round picks, and he still has to draft a quarterback because he knows if he doesn't, he's going to get fired. And hey, if those quarterbacks are good, I want to draft them, right? I'm not trading out of that. But we don't even get the choice. So I think he's done a bad job. I've been using my top 10 players on the roster exercise as a reminder whenever we're talking about the GM. It's like, all right, 3 years in, top 10 players on the roster. The top 2 weren't brought in by him, and the rest you're not feeling great about. Brian Burns is 3rd. You know, KRK and Kayvon are a combination of 4th and 5th,
kind
but we're not
question marks. Yeah,
we're not thrilled with those guys. And then 6 through 10 is meh. And one of those 6 through 10, I think, is Darius Slayton, who they may let walk. So I just think at the end of the day, they haven't built a good roster.
Yeah,
I totally.
Robbie, what are you? Any change of a difference of opinion here?
No. I think if the season were to end today, they're safe, but also it doesn't end today, and that's the thing that's been on my brain for the last couple of weeks. You know, it's funny. I think it was our recap show on Sunday, Bobby, where I was like, yeah, Daniel Jones was benched a month ago. No, he wasn't. He was benched like 2 weeks ago. It feels like a month ago. You know, so there's still a lot of football left, believe it or not. We've been saying, like, I can't believe there's X amount of games left now for the last couple of weeks. And the national heat on the Giants, it let up a little bit this past week. But then you have the plane flying around MetLife, right? There could be another plane this week.
There might be 5 planes this week. You guys,
I hope so. There might be drones.
We had people emailing us about it. I think drones might get shot down.
Yeah.
As they should.
Not Jersey. Apparently they're flying all around here.
Yeah, that shit wouldn't fly down here in Florida. We are shooting those things.
Yeah, I agree.
But we were talking about it on the pod. I started to interrupt Justin, but like, There might just be planes every week. Like it's a lot easier to get a plane now than it was in 1978. They might have opened the plane floodgates.
Yeah.
Shit,
But think of how I think John Mara operates in a way where he was forced to fire Joe Judge, even though he didn't necessarily want to, because of how much of a national laughingstock the Giants were at the end of 2021, heading into 2022. And that was just like a 1 week period of them being like a real national laughingstock versus this time around. It's been like an entire month between Daniel Jones being released. Saquon Barkley is on the threshold of breaking the rushing record. Leonard Williams and Julian Love had those good games in MetLife. Leonard Williams with the pick 6. I mean, the season could very well end where Saquon Barkley breaks the rushing record against the Giants. Yeah. So it won't just be a week of national embarrassment like it was with Joe Judge, and then it pushed him out the door, pushed him out the window. He was kind of bullied into that decision. It has been an entire year, starting with Hard Knocks, then going into the former players, and then going into how bad they are. So I think Mara may just be compelled once again, based off of narratives and being the national laughingstock, to maybe make a move. So even though I do think they're safe if the season ended today, and I personally do want to clean house again, unfortunately, if the season were to end today, I do think they're safe. But guess what? It doesn't, fellas. There's still 4 more long weeks left. Yeah. The Giants aren't having these losses in week 17 and week 18. They're having these losses in November, and now it's bleeding into December, and it's not going to stop.
Yeah,
you guys, they make some good points, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually saying like this Ravens game is going to be very telling because like you can't afford a 40-0 like absolute like blowout. You got to keep it within 2 to 3 scores at least. And I think that kind of embarrassment. I know it's sad to say like you got to keep within 3 scores, but like that kind of like 40-0 embarrassment at home is what lights fires under people's asses, and it's hotter than ever. But I think that I don't know, you guys maybe tell me this. The thought process that they're actually trying to tank here, is that saving them? Even though I don't think they're trying to tank, I think they're genuinely might be this bad, but like the perception is that they're trying to tank. Does that save them a little bit at this point?
The perception,
a quarterback saves them. A quarterback saves them.
The perception, no. The fact that they might end with the first overall pick and their pitch to John Mara is, hey, we are going look at these 1-score games, which again I think that's a bullshit argument. Yeah. Look at these 1-score games. We have the first overall pick. Look what we did with Daniel Jones in 2022. We're going to draft a quarterback. We didn't get to draft a quarterback, and they're going to use John Mara's desire for Daniel Jones to be re-signed against him. Be like, hey, I understand that this was a mistake. You were on board with it. It was our decision, but you were on board with it. Unlike the Saquon Barkley thing. And I think that is all going to be used against John Mara. So that's why right now that's their selling point to John Mara right now. Like that's it. I think they've even sold him on a specific quarterback and all that comes with that quarterback. Right. Where shit changes is like we said, you lose 12 games in a row. You got a plane flying with 5 weeks. Like this shit can get ugly, ugly, right? And
it is.
But I'm saying even like much
it get worse.
Right? We do the those polls of like, and we do it on Instagram too, so we get a big sampling size. And Instagram, I think, is a little more pro the establishment when it comes to it. Do you think Joe Shane and Brian Daly will be fired? Before Daniel Jones was gone, wasn't even close. Everyone wanted them back. Yeah. Once they're gone, now they're the face of it. Just a week after, it went to majority of people thought that they should be. So 7 weeks after that, 7 losses in a row after that, it's going to be 80%. Yeah, 80% of this fan base is going to want him gone, and we're going to see, does John Mara, does Steve Tisch, do they stick by what they want to do, or do they decide that this is too toxic to put together for a 4th straight year?
I agree. And guys, let me ask you both this because you guys are experts when it comes to this. You guys really dissect the roster. Everybody wants a new quarterback, and we get it. We've seen a quarterback play, how we were a poor quarterback room at this point in the NFL. We were terrible. We're probably dead last in there. But with that said, do you think this roster right now is a quarterback away? Do you think a quarterback fixes this entire roster? I'm going to ask Bobby first and then Justin from there.
The question to me, I answer that, is the quarterback away from what?
from
Not
actually
contending or
winning and
Super Bowl?
contending or having
From
a winning
competing
record.
for as a wild card team, absolutely. But here's the thing: every team in the NFL
Yeah,
is.
right.
Every team is in the NFL is. Even if you have a year like the Bengals where their quarterback's playing great, the Bengals are contenders next year because of who their quarterback is, and they have really good offensive talent. Their defense needs to be fixed. But the Commanders have been the example of this. Okay, the Commanders. Guess what? Congrats. Right now they're the 17 in the 7th seed in the NFC, one game up. They changed their quarterback. Guess what they also changed? Their GM, their head coach, their coordinators, their backup running back, Austin Eckler, their tight end, and Zach Ertz, their entire offensive line outside of Sam Cosmi, their defensive ends, both their linebackers, both their safeties, a nickel corner. They drafted 2 players in the 2nd round who are not starters at them instead of trying to plug needs, and Johnny Newton and Benson Ott. So a lot more change for them, and they have that quarterback.
That stuff. What did they do?
And they're the 7th seed. And they're the 7th seed, right? So they're the 7th seed. So yeah,
they have like $100 million in cap next year.
Do I want that? Absolutely. That doesn't make that doesn't mean that the Commanders did a good job of roster building for 3 years before they got Jaden Daniels. So yeah, no matter who's the GM, the thing I want the most is a quarterback. My question is, why are we granting Joe Shane the thing that is the hardest thing to do in the NFL GMing? That's getting the quarterback, right? If he had the quarterback, right, and the roster wasn't good, we'd give him grace because, like, all right, well, you got us the most important thing, right? We'll give you grace with the rest of the roster. The issue is he's done neither. So why are we defending this?
This is the tough part because I feel like I trust Dable to pick the right quarterback, right? So, but if you can't keep Dable and fire Shane. I feel like it's just
not going to do it.
It's not
Here's
a
the
right
thing.
process.
I don't hate Joe Shane as a quarterback. I agreed with his quarterback evaluation last year.
Yeah,
where there was a cutoff after 3. My issue is that this year, if you had the same 3-quarter cube, if Penix, McCarthy, and Nix were in this class, he's taking 1 first overall. That's my issue. It's not that he can't evaluate quarterback. It's that he's changed his philosophy this year because he knows he has to get a quarterback no matter what.
Yeah.
That's true. And Justin, same question. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, no, and I honestly think what this year was about, we knew that quarterback was going to be an issue for the Giants. And I think even people inside the Giants building, like I listen, I go to the home games, so I listen to the post game, 101.9 FM and the in-house Giants media, the post game show every single week. And even from week 1, the tone at which they've talked about Daniel Jones was not the same tone that we heard for the first 5 years of his career. Mm-hmm. It was dismissive. Mm-hmm. They were out of the blue asking questions of, I don't know if this guy can elevate everybody around him. And that was after week 1. So it was very clear from then. And, you didn't even watch Hard Knocks and you pick up the tea leaves of this team. And it's just, okay, so the in-house message that the Giants are going to try and tell the world is that Daniel Jones and the quarterback is the problem on this team. So all in, right? All in for this year being like, all right, quarterback may be an issue, but the rest of the roster between offensive line, drafting Malik Neighbors, we're investing in a running game and not a running back, right? Trading for Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau taking a step up, the front being in a spot where it is, Deontay Banks taking maybe a second-year jump. Let's see the rest of the roster where it's at. Yeah. Even if quarterback is a problem, like we all knew it may be, and like we all knew it probably would be. Let's see where the rest of the roster's at. Fellas, where's the rest of the roster at? Not good.
No.
Not good. So, Bobby was talking about how, even if the rest of the roster wasn't that good, but they get the quarterback right, that you would give Shane a little bit of grace. I even think it's the other way around. If Joe Shane showed a good enough track record within the first 3 years of the rest of the roster being in a decent spot, then I think Joe Shane also would deserve a little bit of grace and a little bit more of like, you know what, maybe he should get to pick the quarterback. But now the only good argument for saying that Joe Shane deserves or should pick the quarterback is because they signed Daniel Jones and they haven't had the opportunity to do so yet. It's not really because of past success that they've had in building up this roster outside of 2022. Dable, got Daniel Jones up and playing at a certain point, but still, that wasn't even Shane's roster. That was a roster of a lot of guys off the street and stuff like that. So I don't think Joe Shane or really Brian Dable. Brian Dable as a coach, I believe in him as an offensive mind. I don't know right now if I believe in Brian Dable as the head coach of this particular football team. I don't think they've deserved or earned the right to pick their new guy based on what they've done, especially the last 2 years.
Pretty damn well put. Before we get to that, guys, before we answer it, guys, I just want to get to a couple things. Hold on 1 second. Got to get to a couple things here.
Holy shit, a super chat.
Yes, don't forget, guys, everything that you're doing, every super chat that it says going to Scooby. Shout out to Scooby, man, Revivalist of the Month, man. And also, you guys already know she gave you a story at the beginning of what she's going through. So this is going to a good cause here tonight.
Scooby's the best.
She's the
sorry.
best.
She's at when we're at training camp. She's with us at almost every session. So
at our tailgate a couple weeks ago. So yeah,
she's such good vibes. She's always smiling, despite what she's been going through. She's a trooper. So thank you, everybody. There is a couple here, so I'm going to run through them fast. Thank you so much, Uncle Lou. So you qualify for a bobblehead. I hope Spiro's keeping track of it.
I got you, Lou.
Thank you, Uncle Lou. Chris Peace wants an El Chefe bobblehead. I will look into that for you. Justin, do you have a bobblehead guy over at John Boy? We'll talk.
We should.
We'll talk.
That would be dope.
There's got to be a company that'll do this for me. What's next? Peter Rendazzo. You can't have a lame duck GM draft a quarterback if he's fired. What if the next GM doesn't like the quarterback Shane drafted? And that is the dysfunction we are attempting to get into. That's an argument for cleaning house while you get your quarterback.
Can I touch on that?
Yeah,
because in theory,
gently.
Here's the argument against that is that, well, hey, it doesn't work out, right? You let a new GM in. If he doesn't want to keep that QB, you don't keep him. You'll give him a year. Maybe you give that quarterback a year and you move on. The issue is that who's John Mara going to hire? Even if he doesn't look at this on one, in his mind, he's going to be biased for the GM who believes he can fix that quarterback who looks bad in year one. It's just the fact. We've seen it with John Mara. He likes the guy who believes in the guy that he likes.
I can fix Eli.
Yeah. So again, that's where it's like with the Dave Gettleman stuff was John Mara forcing Dave Gettleman to keep Eli and Saquon or draft Saquon stuff? No. But guess who tickled his ear? I'm like, oh man, Eli, he's not done. All we got to do is add another star player on this offense. Look at you guys are in the playoffs a year ago. We're good to go, and that'll get John Mara feeling nicey, and then he's gonna want to hire that guy.
Real nice.
It's just we only saw the Saquon stuff on camera because it was just caught on Hard Knocks. We didn't see what went on behind the scenes for Jones, and I'm sure it was 10 times. I'm sure it was a lot worse than what we saw for Saquon. So you're right on that.
I never believed for a second, by the way. We would talk to all these reporters, had them on the show, and we would ask, like, is it injury based that they're really like, that they really feel like they need to address the quarterback spot, or is it like skill based? And we pushed every reporter, and I believe besides Dunleavy, who like referred to, there were some questions on why Tyrod maybe looked a little bit better than Jones. But every single one of them said, oh, no, it's the injuries. Oh, no, they believe in the – I didn't believe that for a second.
No.
I didn't believe that for a second. No.
I didn't try to trade it for Drake May because of Daniel Jones' injuries.
It was all smokescreen to make it – they want to look like they are like the Angels, this classy, buttoned-up organization. You can't say anything bad about them.
And I don't mind that either because they want to not destroy Daniel Jones' ego.
Which they did still.
They still did. Like Daniel Jones wasn't happy, but at the same time, Daniel Jones, you're the one who played like that to put them in this situation. How could this
season have gone any other way when a head coach was on camera, knew he was on camera, and said he would trade up for another quarterback a year after paying this one? Like, how could what do you? Anyway,
nobody's going to want to do Hard Knocks again, by the way.
No.
I don't think no one will ever do the offseason. That one was way worse. John Mara being like, we'll do this one so we don't have the distraction. This is 20 times worse. Because we went into that. I'm sure you guys felt the same way. It's like, they're not going to show shit. It's going to be a puff piece. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. And then they start watching. It's like, oh my God. Like, they're actually showing all this shit. Yeah. Like, I was shocked that they showed that stuff.
Worst case scenario.
I was like, myself, other people were texting Justin, like, stop getting your hopes up for this shit. Like, it's just going to be nothing.
I had a reporter text me saying they're gonna show how they made the uniforms. I'm like, no, it's TV. They should show stuff.
Yeah. So now teams are going to be like begging for the training camp version so they can get on the offseason.
But now it turns out it's the month of December and they're still replaying a TV show from August.
There's
being
no
like,
way
see how
NFL
dumb they are.
There's no way
Yeah.
NFL is ever going to do that. Any NFL team's ever going to do that.
Because then
again.
you know exactly where to point the finger. Because it's
Yep.
behind the scenes, you just assumed like this guy had this guy. Now you know exactly who made the decision, and Joe Shane is caught literally red-handed on the phone.
It's crazy.
Joe Shane came out looking like an absolute bozo from Hard Knocks. We're just going to run through the rest of these supers here. Always be great with Vidal Sr. Joe.
Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, that
Joe
sounds good.
set Brian up for failure. Our roster is garbage. Lack of leadership is part of it. I don't know what Mara does, but fans like Scoob is why we need to get it right. Can we even trust Mara, though? Tish? Anyone? Tish seems to appear out of the darkness when it's like the stadium's about to burn down. So the plane, honestly, the banner, it was just a banner. I'm sorry, Bobby, this is like hiding half your face. It was just a banner, but we know Mara gets embarrassed by this.
He
kind
loves
of
that
thing.
shit. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't love it, but
Like I know he had no. I truly believe he
reacts.
had all intentions of not firing them, but there's still a month left of this shit, and we're already flying banners over the stadium. Thank you so much for the super. It's going right to Scoobs.
I keep wanting adding stuff, but I want to do quick. Can we trust Mara? No, but here's what we can hope for: is that he just hires the right GM, which like a bad owner can hire a good GM. And John Mara is not a Dan Snyder, Woody Johnson type owner, where if that GM does a good job the first 2 years when it really is just full control under him, well, then he'll have the confidence to do whatever he wants, no matter what John Mara says. And Mara's never like the no, you have to do this type of GM. He's the suggest type of GM. But when you have a GM like Joe Shane, he's going to do what you suggest because he wants to save his job. So that's the hope. It's not that John Mara becomes this great owner. It's hope we get the good GM. He has a good first 2 years where he's confident to do things the way he wants, even when the owner disagrees, and just is good. Like that's the way out of this.
We thought we got that guy.
I don't think we have Dan Snyder, Woody Johnson level of bad ownership.
No,
where it's just like they're doomed forever. I think we have like mid-level bad ownership where Tim McDonnell is, the director of player personnel and has been, moving up in the organization in their worst 12 years.
Yeah.
Totally agreed. I think that's true. And great stuff, man, as usual. You want to get to
we got 2 more. Let's go. Benny Rogo. Since Giants Twitter is exploding, I thought no, you know what?
No.
Let's just we're gonna
no.
take it easy on that because we don't want to listen. We don't want to put our boys in hot water here. They come in here for a good.
So
let's get to the next one.
We know absolutely nothing about that, so we're skipping it. This is the big dog. This is a pink one, Larry.
Hey,
Thank you,
get their horns.
But are Shador or Ward as good as Daniels? What happened if New York falls out of picking one of those two with $50 million cap? Shane can make as big of a turnaround as Washington. He has not hit on free agent signings for Scoob. Dude, this is big. This is the whole Thanksgiving dinner.
That's fucking awesome, Larry.
Shout out to you, Larry J. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Listen. Where do you put these guys?
Do you want to have a go at this?
Shador Ward as good as Jaden Daniels. Well, I sure hope for our sake one of them is. I started watching a little bit of Cam Ward. He gives me an anxiety attack every single play.
Yes. Yes.
He's 45% Jameis Winston, 45% Drew Lock, and 10% Lamar Jackson.
We'll take them.
That's the comparison that I fall under. Shador, I think they like Shador a little bit more, and I think Shador probably will be seen as like consensus one, but we'll see, man. I certainly none of them like there was a big 3 last year that like inspired you. May, Daniels, and and Caleb, like they inspired you. They're like, hell yeah, we want to do that versus, even like McCarthy may even be seen as like the QB1 in this class. And, like Bobby said earlier, Joe Shane literally passed up on him at 6 and didn't even want him. So why would you take him at 1 this year? So, I mean, can they make a big of a turnaround as Washington? If they get the quarterback right, yes, they can.
Yeah.
They can, but that's a big if. And a franchise like the Jets have been trying to answer that since Joe Namath. So, I do think fans are underestimating just how hard it is to get that QB spot right when most of the franchises in the NFL have been asking themselves that question now for a very, very long time.
True. We happen to see Houston and Washington do it back-to-back years. So it's like, oh, you just plug and play the right quarterback and everything's good. Go ahead, Speed.
So many things got to go right. No, so many things got to go right. And I think, Shador and Ward could be right in the line of the QB 3, 4, and 5 in that draft. But, it depends on how JJ looks when he comes back. It depends on how Penix looks. He might get some snaps this year if Cousins keeps going the way he's going. And Nix looks pretty good, but I don't think he was ever in the number 6 pick race. So, but if they end up all looking good and the Giants miss on this draft and they pick the wrong one or don't develop them, it's going to look even worse. So guys, we'll just find out then.
I just want to ask Bobby and Justin one thing before we'll continue the chats in a second, but this one's pretty cool. Shout out to New Day. Shout out to New Day there. Firing everyone's just more of the same dysfunction. Do you guys believe that at this point? And I'm gonna start with you, Justin, here, because I got a little something to say about that too.
Obviously, you need to get the right people in here. So, when you're firing people, it's not because you're a functional franchise, but keeping people in the building just for continuity's sake, that's not a good enough argument for me.
It's been one of their biggest issues over the last 10 years.
Yeah,
right. So I'm not. Obviously, you need to hire the right people, and I don't have those answers, but I think there is more evidence to show that these guys aren't it, and they're not even with a great quarterback or a good quarterback, which it could turn things around, but that is a big what if. There's more evidence that it's not going to go right for me, especially when you combine that with how desperate they are now for a quarterback. There's just more evidence to suggest that it's going to go poorly and get even more dysfunctional rather than them kind of miraculously turning it around like that. Yep. Like a lot of fans hope, and I also hope that they can too. I just don't think
that's it. It's hope. There's no confidence. It's hope. Eli, what do you want to say?
Yeah. Just want to let that Bobby, of course, get his thoughts on that as well before I give mine, of course. If you have any, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I think continuity has been one of their biggest issues. Right now, here's the thing: if they want to give Joe Shane and Brian Daboll a 4th year, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. What the issue is, they've been too patient with the GM spot, letting Jerry Reese. They fire Coughlin and keep Reese, who was a draft where like we talk about Shane's draft being bad and Gettleman's draft being bad. The end of Jerry Reese, despite the fact that he got us 2 Super Bowls, you can argue, oh well, of course he got the first one. Yeah, but that first draft class made a good impact on that Super Bowl season. Mm-hmm. They were so bad. Like they're the worst. I think I don't know if there's been a worse stretch of drafting than what Jerry Reese did. Mm-hmm. But you let him go, and you let Coughlin go. You keep Jerry Reese, and we just need a fresh face of head coach. Even though we changed nothing in the building besides upgrading Ben McAdoo 1 chair. Right. And so then you fire them both. You bring in Dave Gettleman, and then you fire Pat Shurmur after 2 years. And then you want to keep Joe Judge, but you can't keep him because the GM's gone. So, if you do anything, the only thing they can't do is fire Daboll and keep Shane. That will drive me insane. If they keep Shane and Daboll, I'll be unhappy. We will talk about why we disagree with it, but we'll hope for the best. It's not impossible to get out of the situation. If they do that, I'm going to be livid.
All right, real quick. One reason from the both of you to keep Joe Shane. One reason. Give me one. And it can't be continuity. You can't use continuity as
That's the only reason.
I want to dig deep. Dig deep here. Anybody got anything?
There's things.
Silence is deafening.
There's things I like about Joe Shane, but there's not this great look how good it is. I like his trades, but then you can answer back to me with okay, the Banks trade sucks, the Hyde trade sucks, Waller ended up retiring a year. You can hit me back, and the trades that are good haven't turned into this great success. Leonard Williams, Brian Burns, whatever. The cap is fairly healthy, but at the same time, the cap is fairly healthy because you pay Daniel Jones and you sacrifice Xavier McKinney, Saquon Barkley, Julian Love, all those. You let those guys walk because you messed up the Daniel Jones thing. So I don't think Joe Shane's an idiot. I just don't think he's a great GM.
I think it's this year's draft class. Now that you have your full staff intact in 2022, Joe Shane didn't have his full staff. 2020, the 2023 draft class was the first year they're all working together, even though that class doesn't look that great. and then again I'm fishing. And then this year's draft class is like, all right, well, we have our right people in line. We like what we have in the building. Our scouts are communicating better. This year's draft class, really nice, really good. But then also pair that with, even though again, I have questions on Brian Daboll being a leader of men and how he coaches a football team, but I do believe that Brian Daboll could help get a young quarterback in this building and really form them up. And I think Joe Schoen paired with Brian Daboll and how they communicate together, and that's something that a disconnect between coach and GM is something that we've been missing in this building and this organization for a very, very long time. They're aligned together. They speak each other's language. They can seem, even if they have these slight disagreements, it seems like they can come to a consensus together. That is a benefit for, if you get the quarterback right. Now Brian Daboll has that quarterback. Brian Daboll is leading that offense. Yes. Brian Daboll isn't leaving and going anywhere. You know, he can't. It's not like an offensive coordinator that can get promoted to a head coaching job and then you lost the system. Brian Daboll is the system. So if you get that combination right, that can be a combination that can stay for a very, very long time.
And listen, that was Justin fishing, by the way, trying to find something to say. And I think you wrapped the bow on that very, very well. Well, I'm going to say this, man. As far as to answer your question, Speed, I think this year's draft class is pretty good. I understand Bobby said the trades and etc. This is the only highlight of his.
You got to hope this is the beginning, right?
In my opinion. I mean, but you know, let me say this, and a lot of people saying, well, firing them will only show dysfunction within the organization. At some point, like Justin said, this is dysfunctional. This is why the team is the way it is now. When you stop swinging the bat is when you give up on everything at this point, right? You got to go get your guy. So even if you got to swing the bat a couple more times to go get the proper people in here to lead this Giants organization, then you need to do it. But what John Mara also needs to do at this point is kind of sit back and stop suggestion, because the Giants way might be a little stale at this point, Mr. Mara. I think that the pristine organization that you're trying to portray this to be is kind of out the door and out the window at this point. You should sit down with somebody that's new, that's fresh, that has your organization in mind to say, hey, let us take control of this for a second here, because your way is just not the way anymore. Things got a little bit better. You're a little stale right now, all right? Sit down for a second. Because right now this organization isn't looking like the Giants way at all. So at this point, I think they need to move on from these guys. And of course, you're trying to find the positives in there. I've been trying to find the positive. I've been fighting for these guys to stay. Trust me, I have. But looking at it, doing the research and putting time into it, these guys just aren't the answer at this point. You got to move on from these two. So right now at this point, John Mara needs to do everybody a favor. And yes, it's going to look sloppy, guys. It's going to look terrible. But how do we look now? Let me ask y'all that question. The ones that say it's going to be dysfunctional if we do. How does it look now to you? Doesn't look too good, right? So if we fire everyone again, it's just part of that ugly freaking cut that we're looking at right now. And then we're going to get a new person in hand. It's going to be happy days all over again. And let's hope that they are the people that can lead the Giants into some winning games and hopefully a wild card spot. But right now, having these two here is just going to continue to be ugly. I'm not going to be happy with it if they do stay. But I get it. Like Bobby said, we'll support it, and we hope they get it right. But at this point, let's just flush the ugly down the drain once this season is over and get rid of those guys too and start new at this point. So that's my thoughts on that as well. Guys, we'll get to the super chats really, really quick as well. I think we got 2 more to go.
Well, they're kind of good topics at this point. So we can rock with them. If you could bring back any Giants legend to fix these problems, who would you guys choose? Prayers for
Depends
Scooby.
on what the problems. I guess like if you would Tom Coughlin fix these problems?
No,
I mean, if you're talking
about that,
if you're talking any legend in his prime, granted, Bill Parcells did hop around a bit afterwards and didn't find the same success, but I would still pick him. I just loved the way he coached, and I'm not going to.
I love Parcells too. Maybe Lawrence Taylor and just bring him in to watch defensive ends and be like, "Can that guy fucking ball?" He's like, "Yeah, ball."
Right.
You know,
he'll be hungover, but he could still evaluate.
Yeah, just like, hey, I'm not asking you to watch film and just watch this guy for 15 minutes. Tell me if you think he can ball or not.
I love his quotes at Thibodeau when he was like, "How many sacks do you have last year?" And he said like 11 and a half, whatever it was. And he was like,
"What are you injured?
Would you play?
Yeah.
Would you play 4 games or something?" What do you think, Justin?
Justin, you got anybody?
I'm just trying to think of because
I want the guy behind you.
Strahan was combative. Well, hear me out on this.
You saying Strahan? Remember on the end of the 2021 season, one of my most watched things as a Giants fan is always the Fox pregame on the last week of the season because Jay Glazer, who never just guesses, says Gettleman's gone. Judge, they're not sure. He's making a push for Kevin Abrams, and Strahan's out loud just like, no! Like Strahan is combative enough to just be like, this is really fucking stupid. What do you guys do?
Yeah.
Love that.
Sure.
Are we talking about to be like a front office person? Or are we talking about a player that we could just wave a
This is a
magic
Chris
wand?
K curveball, so you can
This
make
is
it
what he
whatever
does.
you want.
The player you just bring
Take it
back
whatever you
Eli.
want. Take it as you want.
All right, well,
Curveball.
I'm gonna pretend like this is wave a magic wand and just be back on the roster.
That's how I read it.
Outside of talent, Lawrence Taylor, Michael Strahan, but even outside of talent, because I don't think coaching is bringing this right now.
Zach Diassi.
A guy did Zach Diassi hold everybody accountable? If so,
Sure
then bring
did.
him back.
Captain.
A guy that we need leaders in this locker room,
Yes.
dogs,
Yes.
and guys that can hold. A guy beside Dexter Lawrence, really good football player. Brian Burns, good football player, a little bit of a veteran, right? And I feel like those two guys have been more of the vocal leaders of the defense this year. But still, I don't know how much of a natural, comfortable role it's been for those guys to be that versus, me growing up in 07 and 11 and, going back to the other teams that have won, even the 2000 NFC Championship team, those were guys that, commanded a space and commanded a room and, the locker room, they held each other accountable. That's gone, man. All that stuff is gone. There's none of that. It's guys that are showing up and nobody, who are you, who was that offense really looking up to hold the room accountable? Greg Van Roten at one point this year had something to say during a halftime or a post-game locker room speech after the game.
A veteran right guard should
don't disrespect Greg Van Roten, okay?
Yeah, don't disrespect Greg Van Roten. But
you're right.
That's what I would do.
There's no one to turn to. There's no one to turn to. You're absolutely right. Eli or Spee, any thoughts?
Who would I bring back to fix it? Let me say this really quick, man. Who would I bring back to fix it? Kadarius Toney. No, I'm messing with you. I'm so messing with you.
He's available.
He's still out there.
Is it right?
He's available.
Get him back.
I know, right? Shockingly. So we'll talk about that in a second. But
we don't have
because
to.
we got to give that award that they give out. The Kadarius Toney. Not sure if he did anything special. He's not on the team no more.
Is it still called the Kadarius Toney Award?
Yeah,
it's
called Not Sure If You're a Good Person, but Best Giants Reporter award presented by Kadarius Toney, presented by Talkin Giants.
There you go.
That's catchy. Very catchy.
It'll never change.
Rolls off the tongue.
Good.
Rolls off the tongue.
Like if we ever die and pass this podcast down to some young people,
You have to.
But this is the only thing you could change anything you want. You can't change this.
That's in the contract.
It's gonna be my legacy is the Tony Award.
Yeah. Absolutely.
By the way, real quick, Talkin Giants is good for business. This is a record for us on a live stream. So thank you guys. We're over 2,500 with us between X and YouTube right now.
Let's go.
Which also helps because our goal for tonight was to raise some money for Scooby, and you guys are helping us do that. So thank you so much for being here. A couple more supers, but these are still good topics. So if you do fire Shane and Dable, a lot of people just want him gone. They don't even care, right? Just my thought is swing the bat. I'd rather go down swinging than looking and risking further dysfunction by having a rookie quarterback. All of that. So question from Peter, who's donated a few times tonight. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Bobby and Justin. Do you have
Give
a
us your
list?
top two.
Yeah, just do top two, or even top one. Who would you want in here?
I'll be honest. I don't have a name because we have look. I will say this. If you're saying what organization, I'd love to go from the Rams. I like the way the Rams have done things. They've been a great talent evaluators. Again, now here's the thing with GMs too. It's so hard to judge if they're going to be good or not. Yeah. And unless you're hiring a retread, because it's all right, cool. This all makes sense. What were you responsible for? You're just kind of, riding the coattails of your GM really until you get the opportunity to do stuff on your own. So head coaching, I'll be a lot stronger in my opinion of what I want. GM is more of just please don't be a bad candidate to the public.
Yeah, makes sense.
Justin, maybe for you, any thoughts on Brandon Brown. And that could be kind of saving face for Mara, not a true tear it down, but I don't think he has the balls to do this, to fire Shane and promote Brandon Brown. But any thoughts on him keeping it inside the building? It might be,
Like,
We don't know what he did.
Isn't it like?
well, how do you evaluate assistant GMs? It's so hard.
But also, weren't we just talking about how you went from Coughlin and then you just all right, let's just promote Ben McAdoo. You know, that's kind of like the same thing. You know, and I all right, Brandon Brown's going to come in here. You know, the Eagles, he's going to help fix this damn offensive line. We haven't drafted a damn good offensive lineman under Joe Shane. So just
my only reason to like Brandon Brown is that he didn't seem to agree with Joe Shane on almost anything Joe Shane said. I'm like, I like this guy.
That's fair.
No, I think Brandon Brown could can be good. You know, maybe.
But we have no clue either.
We have no idea.
No clue.
Like last year when we were and this fucked up the NFL has kind of put us in this situation when like the Chargers were like, it was like, listen, Brandon Brown could be the greatest GM ever. I have no clue. But you're telling me that the guy who's not making the decisions can get me 2 third-round comp picks?
Yeah.
Like I'm not crying that he's gone because the GM's still making the same decisions and I get those comp picks. Now it's a weird, like if he's good, you wouldn't want to lose him. But like at the end of the day, he's not making the decisions and then I get 2 free third-round picks. Like I'm not crying about that. So Brandon Brown could be the best GM ever, but I'm not hiring him because why would I promote from within when we've been so bad?
But with the GM position just as a whole, again, I don't have candidates. Like, you know, stealing from the Rams is a great idea because you finally you saw, not only did you see what they did when they didn't have first round picks for the last 2 decades, that they still found decent players. Now through the last 2-ish, you know, especially this past year's draft, they finally have top 100 picks again, and they totally knocked it out of the park, arguably more than any other NFL team. You know, the Chiefs, the Lions, like, you know, any of those teams that have evaluated and drafted well. But think of where we were at the end of 2021, where we wanted a guy like Joe Shane to come in here and be like, you know what? There's more to being a GM than just drafting, which that's apparently, you know, if there were some NFL or some Giants fans that said, well, if there's one thing that Dave Gettleman did all right is that he knew how to sort of evaluate. Which for first round picks, sure, you can maybe say that, but the 2020 draft class was good, neither here nor there. We wanted a GM that understood more about the process, about contracts and trading and doing more of the smart things and knowing how to run a building. Joe Shane really modernized the Giants building, and we went from whiteboards and chalkboards to, you know, we have technology in the building now. So all that's great. Joe Shane did that and modernized it. And that's what we were looking for as Giants fans. Now as Giants fans, we're like, F that. I want a guy that can evaluate freaking talent.
Let's go back to drafting.
Yeah. You know, so it's crazy how we flipped, you know, like I flipped where, you know, I can watch these videos that I made and, you know, think back. It's like, oh man, well, Adam Peters, really, really good evaluator. Nobody can doubt that. But Joe Shane just seemed to kind of do more in Buffalo, and he was more versatile. And now if the decision were to be made now, it's kind of crazy that we would choose the evaluator over anything, which is nuts how times change. So.
We're lost.
Well said.
Exactly. Speed, you got anything else? I got a great question for Justin.
No. Keep going.
So, guys, of course, man, we're getting to the end of the show here, guys. Shout out to the 2,633 people in the freaking building. And Talkin Giants, yes, they are ratings. As you can see, guys, we made a record here tonight. And most importantly, man, we raised money for one of our own from the Giants community, Scooby, who was actually now just announced to us at the beginning she is cancer-free, but she will be out the hospital in 2 days after being there, missing Thanksgiving for the month and etc. So, Scooby, we're praying for you for the full recovery. And every super chat goes to her tonight. But of course, man, we got to close it out and have some fun, man. Justin, man, I see your videos sometimes, and you're at the ballpark, and you take a nice hot dog and you eat it. Mm-hmm. You eat some more all over the place. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to throw a couple, products at you. What's your favorite hot dog? Is it Nathan's, Sabrett's? Is it Ballpark? Which one is your go-to in the store where you go, you know what? And do you like them grilled on a grill, or do you like them fried? Talk to me.
I like them grilled. I don't know if there's like a specific brand, but I like the ones that are a little bit more like thicker, like a brat or a sausage, but with like the grill lines like in them.
Oh yeah.
So the tiny ones that are just like boiled, like I could do without it, but it's nice on the grilled. It's nice on the grill. It's a little bit thicker. It has the grill lines in it. I'm a big fan of that. I also discovered the beauty of putting onions on your hot dog this summer.
Ooh, interesting.
Not just
sauerkraut.
Oh, the raw onions or the one with the sauce? Right.
Cooked onions.
Yes.
Cooked/fried onions.
Okay.
Nice. But even raw onions, I can imagine would be good. But your breath will stink a little bit more after that.
Yeah.
Well, as if they wouldn't already.
At 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. like I usually eat them. So. Hot dogs are not the same, by the way. Like if I have it at noon or after, it doesn't taste the same, and I don't like it as much. I have to have it in the morning.
They slap differently in the afternoon. Interesting.
In the morning.
We learned something
It
today.
slaps different in the morning.
Oh, yes.
He likes it. He likes it.
I like it only in the morning.
Interesting. Is it the first meal that you have during the day? Maybe that's why.
At camp, right? For camp.
Well, it's a training camp tradition because I'm a big believer in you can't have too much of anything in life is not good.
Right.
So I do a big blitz, a big 2.5-3 week blitz of if there's, let's just say hypothetically, there's 12 days of public training camp practice for the Giants in 14, 15 days. I will have 24 hot dogs in 15 days, but then no other hot dogs for the rest of the year.
Wait, so how long you been doing this tradition since training camp?
A couple of years, right?
It started the first year of Joe Shane and Brian Dable because because we would film at training camp,
right? But
then we got in trouble. And we're like, and the Giants were like, don't do this. We don't want you to do
stop.
This. So we stopped. And so out of protest, I'm like, well, I need to film something. So I'm just gonna film me eating raw dog and a hot dog. and it was a way for me to be like sassy and like be like a little bit of an ass to the Giants.
Yeah.
But then it turns into this whole like social media, like, the policing, the hot dog police is incredible. So I just started to do outrageous things with hot dogs, and people would comment on it, and it's been a thing for the last 5 years.
Don't bust that nut just yet. We'll be right back, folks.
I have a new candidate for the GM. It's whatever GM doesn't think that their week 1 opponent is watching individual practice clips and changing their game plan based on
right.
Oh no, they lined up in a 2x2 formation. Oh god, that's
write that down.
This is fucking breaking. This is insane type of information.
I thought we got it right, guys. I thought we got it right.
And Bobby, I just want to know, man, because I don't know if you're a foodie or not, but what's your go-to meal that you got to go to? What is it?
Lately, I'm like in seasons. Like but lately we've been doing a lot of salmon and rice. I mean, and some Cajun salmon.
The anti-hot dog.
It's really good. I guess. I mean, I can't eat that at training camp, so
that's very healthy.
But
do you like it? Like I eat it because I know how good it is for you. I don't actually enjoy it though. Do you actually like salmon?
Oh, I love salmon. Salmon. Now my go-to
you get better fish
type
in Florida,
of food. It's Mexican. That probably is true.
Some true.
I'm very picky too. Like I get it from I don't get like the sealed shit. I get it from the market.
Yeah.
But my go-to food is just Mexican food. Like they got their shit figured out.
All right, so Bobby, the next time you're in New York City, I promise, where I live at, it's the best Mexican restaurant in the borough. Like
in the city?
No. This is in New York City, by the way. On the
island.
Okay,
seriously, let me know because I haven't found a great one there.
Wait, are you saying Manhattan or Staten Island?
No, Staten Island has the best Mexican spot out here in the 5 boroughs. I'm telling you right now, hands down. By the time you're done eating here, I'm telling you, Bobby, you'll be like, oh shit, I got to come out here and I got to eat this from here on in. So the next time you're in New York, give me a shout. We'll make something happen and come down to try this spot, man. I'm telling you, you'll love it. I'm telling you.
When are we doing
take you up on that?
When are we doing a New York Revival Tommy's trip that I could crash on?
Oh, don't.
Anytime. You tell me.
Let's go. Let's do it.
We should go after the draft. That's where they go. That's where they go after the draft.
Did you notice that in Hard Knocks that they were on the Route 3 in Clifton? Tommy's Tappan Tavern?
Yes. And we said they copied us. We was like, they watched us. They saw us.
So
Of course they did. Of course they did. Of course.
Except
I'm
we're
sure
like,
they- I'm
check Tommy's.
we always like this corner of the bar. Last time we got a high top, they had like the whole top clearly rented out. A little slightly
right.
Yeah,
different
they
experience,
definitely
but
had it rented
the
out.
place is good to watch a game. Food's good. We like that spot a lot. So we'll let you know next time, guys.
No,
I'm gonna run through
Justin,
this super quick because we're wrapping up. Top
Yeah.
5 QBs. Thank you, Julian. There's
got the
only
top
2.
two.
There's only 2. Warden Sanders. Thank you so much for your super. It's going right to Scooby.
Hold on. Would you
Dylan
guys take
Gabriel.
one of the?
Dylan Gabriel's number
Yeah.
3 for Julian.
He's number 9 for me, Dylan Gabriel.
Yes.
Okay,
You
so
do it
do
3
with
to 9.
that what you will.
yeah.
Chris Peace, $100 million question. We actually asked that
Ooh.
last time.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Chris.
Bobby changed the subject right over to wide receivers or something. Fair enough. And Peter, thank you. This is like your 5th super tonight.
He's the
Our
best. He's the
spreadsheets are
best.
clear and our draft board is
He's-
digital.
Yeah,
Shane's
that-
legacy.
That shows.
That's my like when people say that. That's my like. God, the bar is so fucking low. It's like, oh, sick. We got more computers. That's why we got to keep our new GM.
That's somebody actually probably say that, which is insane.
Which I you know, it took me a while. Part of me, I was a binder guy too. I still do. Let me pull it
Oh,
up.
I gotta see this.
Yeah,
I gotta see
yeah,
how
it's
Bobby
good.
does this. I gotta
He's
see how
still-
Justin and Bobby does this shit. Honestly,
At camp, Bobby's
Bobby,
still,
if you-
he's a
I
So I
pad and
still
paper
have
guy.
the digital version, but I'll never go away from this. So every year, my draft write-ups,
Mm-hmm.
or I have all.
all right,
of
I
them
gotta
right
see
there.
Justin's.
I
Justin,
like it.
how you
Let's
doing?
pick
it,
a
Justin,
random
nowadays?
one.
He's all computer.
Google Docs.
Yeah.
For you?
Here's what I hit on.
He's like, I'm the young guy here.
Who we
I
got?
gotta-
Who's that?
Cam Hart went in the 5th round. He's a starting
Yes.
corner for the Chargers. He's really good. I had him as a
Fantastic.
3rd-round player. I got that one right. Should have drafted
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Joe Shane, so.
Facts.
Good call.
Facts.
Good call.
Damn good call. Yo, I gotta really pick these guys. I'm telling you, you guys are the experts here.
Mhm.
We'll just have fun on this show. But guys,
Well,
man,
we do
shout
have
out to
fun.
the 2764, 65, 66. It just keeps going up. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and of course, man, we get great guests coming back just like these guys, man, when you guys show some support here. And don't forget, man, every super chat tonight actually went to Scooby, our own, for the Giants community, man. She is fighting and she's beating cancer, man. She's kicking its ass.
Hell
So
yeah.
thank God for that, man. And all the super chats will go to support her. Don't forget, man, we're on Spotify and iTunes. Go over there, hit that follow button. Numbers are doing great over there. We appreciate you guys. And of course, man, on behalf of our brothers here, Talking Giants, and of course, my brother, Mr. Glass Half Full, El Jefe, it's your boy Eli Rax, aka Vibes. We'll see you guys on the next one, of course. Peace and blessings. Nate, take us out, brother.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
boys.
New York Revival, I'm in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Woodlike Roar!
Let's go.